Hey, this is Deepak here, and welcome to the next lesson in your digital marketing agency course. So, in this video, we are going to talk about the challenges in starting a digital marketing agency. So, these challenges I have noted it down by asking the question on the Learn Digital Marketing Facebook group, and I just collected the most repetitive and the most common type of objections and challenges people have when they think about starting a digital marketing agency. So there is a good chance that you might be having some of these challenges, and in this video I am going to try to remove your mental blocks and limiting beliefs if you think that this is going to be a challenge. And this is very important for you to actually start an agency and grow that agency, right? Because if you think that one of these things is going to be preventing you from creating a profitable agency, then you might not actually do it. So the first thing that most people said as a challenge when they are trying to start a digital marketing agency is capital. And let's talk a little bit about capital, and let's talk a little bit about did I have capital when I got started with the digital marketing agency. So first of all, I will tell you what are the kind of expenses that we have right now. So when you have a 10 people team, so let's say you have a 10 people team, and if you have a 10 people team as a digital marketing agency, you will be having multiple expenses such as office rent and facility, which will be around 50K per month. Salaries, I would say 50,000 on average per person. So if it is 50,000 per person, then 5 lakhs a month in salaries you need to pay. And then you will probably have other tools expenses. So tools will cost you 1 lakh a month. And then let's say I will put 1 lakh a month for miscellaneous expenses. So like if you might want to buy computers, you might want to go ahead and invest in some marketing and things like that. So if you look at having a digital marketing agency with a 10 people team, then what we are looking at here is around 7.5 lakhs a month in expenses. So you need to have a total revenue of at least 10 lakhs a month, and you will have a profit of, let's say, 2.5 lakhs per month. So your profit should range from 20% to 30%. So that is the amount I would recommend to keep as a profit margin, because if you don't have this much buffer, and sometimes when you have increased expenses, and sometimes let's say you hire new people and you have to pay more salaries, you need this buffer for growth. Without this buffer, you cannot really operate on a very thin margin and try to grow. So that's where people end up failing. So this is for a 10 people team, but today we have a 10 people team, but that does not mean that you need to be having 10 people in the team to get started with. We did not get to 10 people directly by jumping into that level and having multiple clients. So I basically started as a consultant. So if you are starting as a consultant, then you don't need much money, right? You are a single person and you are starting the digital marketing agency yourself. First, start with your personal brand. So with your personal brand, go ahead and start helping businesses. When you are a consultant, you will be giving more information and doing less of execution. And when you think that you have enough margin, then you can go ahead and hire one more person. So what I would recommend is that you get started as a consultant. So when you start as a consultant, your monthly expenses is basically your own salary, right? So own salary is probably the only expense that you need to do. And I would say that if you have, let's say, 50K per month of total expenses, then if you have 6 lakhs, then you are taken care of for an entire year. So when you start a digital marketing agency, when you are getting started as a consultant, start with a saved up money of at least 6 lakhs. If your monthly expenses is 50K a month, which is pretty decent for a tier 1 city in India. However, if you think that your monthly expenses is going to be 1 lakh a month, then you have to save at least 12 lakhs before you get started. So that will be an expense. And go and get a co-working space. If you have a, let's say, home office or something where you can work from, then you don't need to spend that much also. So if you have a co-working space, then that would cost you around 10,000 rupees per month, even if you get a very fancy space like WeWork. And some co-working spaces start with 5,000 rupees per desk also, right? Then you will probably need a laptop, and let's say another 1 lakh for let's say a website for yourself, and business cards, and other design and marketing. So this is all you need to get started as a consultant. And let's say you have one client, and if you can get this client to pay you 1 lakh a month, then you will be having some extra money, which is your profit margin. And let's say you are paying yourself 50k a month in salary, and if you are having one client who is going to pay you 1 lakh a month, then you have some margin, and then you can go ahead and hire an intern for maybe 20,000 rupees per month salary, give that intern one more desk to work in your co-working space or wherever you are working, and then go ahead and get started by creating systems and letting your hire work on the systems. When you get started as a consultant, you don't have any processes and systems in place, and basically you are the business. You are going to deliver the work to the client based on what you know and the experience that you already have. And once you get an intern, and or once you get an employee who can work with you, then you have to start building processes and systems which this employee can follow. Because if you are going to teach this employee on how to do things, and tomorrow if this employee leaves your organization, then what are you going to do? You have to go ahead and hire one more employee and teach them everything. So instead, go ahead and start creating systems and ask your employee to follow the systems. So that is going to be your way to go ahead and expand. And a lot of people try to go ahead and invest money, and if they have enough money, let's say they have a startup capital of 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs, then they go ahead and do this directly. Like, they go ahead and get a 10 people team, and they think that they need a 10 people team to operate as a profitable agency. But when they do that, they don't have the systems in place, and basically the entrepreneur is working overtime, and all the employees are not working hard enough. They are going to be not serious enough, and there is no system that the employees can follow. That is when agency owners burn out, and they feel like this is a business model that cannot be scalable. So you have to start creating systems, right? So create systems. And a startup in its early stages is going to need the time of the founder a lot more than capital or manpower or whatever that is required as leverage. So the time that you invest in creating system and let's say create systems is going to be the asset that you are creating, and this asset is not something you can buy with money. So capital is not required. And people also say that there is a challenge in employees leaving. So I will add that as one more challenge, and we will talk more about employees leaving and how you can go ahead and create systems that can be plugged into anything, and any employee can come and follow that system. So you don't need to be dependent on your employees. Your employees need to be replaceable. So this is going to be the right way to approach it. So once you have that kind of stability, and once you are removing yourself from the equation, so let's say you have one client, and this one client is paying you 1 lakh a month, out of which 50,000 you are paying to yourself, and another 20,000 you are paying to your employee, then you are going to have a margin of at least 10-20,000. Or even if you don't have a margin, it is fine. Go ahead and invest that extra 50,000 in creating systems and having one person who will work for you. And here what should happen is that you should be spending 20% of the time. So 20% of your time is being spent in directly working on things to help this first client and for client, and 80% of your time should be for building systems and processes. So you build the system and the system delivers the value. That is when you go ahead and create the business. So you don't go ahead and work directly. Instead of that, you are going to build the system and the system is going to create a value. So that is what every big business is about. If you are building a business system, then it's a system that creates value for your customers consistently without you having to be there. So on some level it is automation, right? So that is when you end up making a lot of money. So now we have seen how you can get started as a consultant and start to have your first client, and then it is natural to say that you don't need that kind of capital when you are getting started. All you need is, let's say, 6 lakhs to 10 lakhs to start with, which is going to pay your salary for up to a year. And if you can survive in 10 lakhs for 2 years, then that's even better, because the lighter you are, the less of a cost that you are for your own business, the more of an asset you are for your own business. So we have addressed the first challenge that you might be having in your mind when you are going to start a digital marketing agency. You don't need a very big capital to start a digital marketing agency. The amount of capital that you need is to pay for yourself, which is your salary for your personal expenses, and probably get a working space. So it could be in your own house also. You can sit and work from your home, go visit clients, come back, and all that you can do. Or you can go ahead and get a cheap co-working space as well. Now let's address the next biggest challenge that people think they have when they want to start a digital marketing agency. So we have already spoken about capital, and now let's talk about scalability. So I will put it as scalability. And scalability is basically how fast you can scale your business, right? So I have some different thoughts on this, and a lot of people say that when you start an agency and when you want to scale the revenues of the agency, it is not very scalable and they don't want to do it because it is not a product and it is a service. However, I would say that any business for that matter starts with the lowest scalability on the left end of the spectrum and goes to very high scalability as you build processes and systems over time. A lot of people think that if they develop a product, then let's say it's like an app, then whether you are getting 100 download or 10,000 downloads, once you release the app, your job is done and it will scale. However, it is very difficult to get a product that will scale massively unless you have a service component to it, and it takes a long time to get there. So I would say that when it comes to scalability, let's consider the left end of the spectrum. Okay, so left end of the spectrum, you are going to be basically an employee. So if you have digital marketing skills and if you are going to be working as a digital marketer in some organization, you are basically trying to trade your time for money, right? So as an employee, you are trading your time for money, and there is no leverage, right? You have zero leverage. You cannot go ahead and hire people under your team unless you are a manager. So initially, let's say you are just an end employee, you don't have any leverage, you don't have any time leverage or capital leverage or people leverage, and you are basically offering some services. Let's say you are a social media manager and your responsibility is to post 5 times per day on social media. Here you are going to make money by selling your time and selling your skills. So this is the left end of the spectrum, and let's just call it the spectrum. And here let's go one step towards the right. So you are going to become a manager. So you have people leverage. As a manager, you have people leverage. You have some say in what kind of people you can hire for your team and what kind of salaries you can pay them, but you have to still work under restrictions, right? Your company is going to tell how many employees you can have under you, and they are also going to put a limit on how much salary you can pay them, and they are also going to interview other people and make them part of your team, and all this is going to happen, right? If you are a consultant, let's say, if you are a consultant, and let's say as a consultant you have two clients, then you are basically having a little bit more leverage. And let's say as a consultant you have an intern or a junior employee working with you, you have some people leverage as well. So however, you don't have the capital leverage, and over time you are building expertise, so you have some time leverage as well here. So time leverage applies for everything, so everything over a period of time can get better through experience and building processes and systems. So once you move from a consultant to a services company, which is an agency, so basically you are going to have people leverage. So you are going to have more people leverage, and you are also going to have some capital leverage. So in a company, when you are working as a manager, you just have people leverage, you don't have capital leverage, because if you end up making a profit, you are not going to go ahead and have the ability to reinvest that profit in hiring more people and scaling the company directly. But as a services company, you have some capital leverage, and let's say as a company you have 3 to 5 clients to start with as a young company. Then you have multiple clients, right? So when you have multiple clients, basically, so I'll just put multiple clients here. So basically you are having a little bit more leverage, because you can say no to a particular client and tell that client that you can't work with them if it is very difficult to work with them. As an employee, if you want to say no to your employer, then you need to have another job offer in another company to go ahead and say no, because if you say no, then your income will stop. However, let's assume that as a services company you have 5 clients and one client is very difficult to work with. You can go ahead and tell this one client that you can't work with them, and you will still have other 4 clients paying you, and you will still maintain 80% of the revenue. And with some of the time, that leverage that you have, where you keep yourself afloat for a while with low profit margins, then you can go ahead and add one more client, and you can add one more client. So with services company there is a little bit more leverage, and then you can start doing systems leverage. So when you have systems leverage, apart from people leverage, you are basically going to put the people under the system, and your people leverage should eventually start becoming part of your systems leverage, because people are going to follow your system. So whenever you are going to hire a new person, then ask that person to just go ahead and follow the system. So systems leverage may you are going to build documentation and process. So once you build a documentation and process, what you can do is you can go ahead and productize your services. So most of the people who start as a consultant would say that they will do anything for the client, and they will say that, hey, just let me know what kind of digital marketing campaigns you want to do, and I will go ahead and do it for you. So here you are basically giving a highly custom solution, and initially it is important for you to understand the market. So when you offer a custom solution, you understand what is required in the market, and then you see what is working, right? You know what is working and what's not. So all this you are going to learn when you are a consultant. So that's where people go wrong. When they start with a huge capital and try to build a huge agency directly, they go ahead and try to create products and services which is a replica of other products and services offered by other agencies. And if you are offering such replica, then there is no USP or unique selling proposition, right? So being a consultant and working with clients and giving custom solutions will help you understand the market and understand what is working and what is not. So based on all this knowledge, you are going to productize your service. Like for example, let's say content marketing services. So content marketing services can be productized by saying that, hey, I will give you X number of articles a month and it will cost you this per month. If you need bigger articles or higher quality articles with infographics and stuff like that, it is going to cost you Y per month. And if you need video content and all that content, it is going to cost you Z per month. So being a content marketing agency, initially you can start as a writer yourself if you want to, because if you have good writing skills, then you can start selling your writing services. Then you start offering custom content solutions, you start expanding, and then you go ahead and productize your service. So it can be like a monthly service. So say that you will charge 50,000 rupees per month for 4 articles a month. So here you will be at 12,500 per article revenue from your client, and out of that, if you pay around 5,000 rupees to your content writer, then you can have the 7,500 rupees profit margin. And if you have that much profit margin, then you can make 30,000 per month in profit with that particular client, where you are charging 50,000 rupees for 4 articles a month. Or you can say that, hey, I will charge you 1 lakh rupees a month for high quality, very long form articles, like 5,000 word articles, but I will charge you 20,000 or 25,000 per month. So 20,000 per month per article at 5 articles a month will give you 1 lakh a month. So here there is some way to productize your service. You can also do SEO services which can be productized. You can do ad management. So ad management, usually it is a percentage of the total ad spend that you are going to charge to your client. And then you can launch products. So instead of going ahead and trying to create a highly scalable product startup right from the beginning, it's going to be very difficult unless you have investment. Not just because you don't have capital in the beginning, but also because you don't understand the market and you have not put in that sweat equity required for that product company to be created. A lot of people fail with product companies because they don't understand the market and they end up building something that people don't want. So you need a clear understanding of market needs, and you need to see how you can go ahead and create a system that delivers value. So instead of thinking about the left end of the spectrum, where you are an employee and it is not scalable at all, and then trying to go all the way to the right end of the spectrum where you have a complete system that delivers value. See, a system that delivers value is basically the product, right? So instead of going there, I would recommend that you go step by step. You start with being an employee, then be a manager and see how leverage works, add little bit more systems. And as a manager also, you are going to build assets for the company. So you are going to build systems for the company that you work for. And then you become a consultant. You are having a little bit more leverage than being an employee, but you are also having time leverage, and you are able to develop custom solutions which helps you understand the market and what's working and what's not. And then you go ahead and start a services company, which is capital leverage, having multiple clients with system leverage, and then you productize the service, and then you can go ahead and launch your own product. So I will put launching your own product here. So your services company will be giving you enough revenue, and you can use the profits that you make in your services company to reinvest in launching your product. Like for example, I have been providing email marketing services to my clients, and after understanding their challenges, I launched my own product called optinchat.com. And optinchat.com was basically funded from the profits I had from my other businesses, including the agency. So think about scalability as a spectrum where you try to go from the left end of the spectrum to the right end of the spectrum slowly by going from one place to another. So an agency or being a consultant lies somewhere between launching your own product and being an employee or a manager. So this kind of mindset is very important for you to learn and eventually get to a place where you can build a multi-million-dollar product company, right? So that is what is going to be my suggestion if your limiting belief is that an agency is not scalable. An agency is definitely more scalable than being an employee, and definitely helps you create a platform for going ahead and starting a business. Imagine that if you have graduated from college and you have not got a job at all, then you are not in a position to start a company because you don't understand the market, you cannot pay for yourself, and you are not going to have enough savings to sustain yourself. Being an employee is definitely a path to go ahead and become an entrepreneur. So similarly, if you are thinking that you need to start a product company and not a service company, then I would say that starting a service company is your path to eventually create a profitable product company. Initially, you will be depending more on your time and trading your time for money, and then you will have your employees trade your time for money, and then you will be creating systems which will be scalable, so that you don't need to trade your time for money. You are using your time to build systems, and the system will deliver value on automation. Now let's talk about the next biggest challenge that people think they have when they are starting a digital marketing agency, and that challenge is competitors. So people think that the market is already very competitive, and you do not have enough space to go ahead and get enough revenue. But that is a very wrong way to look at it. So competitors are actually good, because competitors go ahead and give you an idea about the size of the market, and they also grow the market. If there is a market where there are no competitors, it means that there is not enough money in the market. So when you look at most of the big companies today, they were not the first to do it. Like for example, when Facebook started, if they thought that MySpace is already existing and the competition is already there, Orkut is already there, then Facebook could not have got ahead and become this big of a company today if they did not get started, right? So the fact that there is competition existing means that there is an opportunity in the market, and it indicates the size of the market. Even Google was not the first search engine. You had Yahoo search engine before. Google came and did a better job. And the best part about digital marketing agency is that it is not a scalable business, as people might think that it is a challenge. Sometimes it's also an opportunity, right? So since a digital marketing agency is not scalable, it is not a winner take all market. So it's not a winner take all market. When you look at an app like Uber, or when you look at an app like Zomato or Swiggy or Ola, these are winner take all markets, where it is a product and a platform where people can sign up for, and they are building a network. And as the network becomes bigger, then you are going to have the network effects kick in, and it basically becomes like a monopoly where somebody else cannot enter. However, when you look at very big digital marketing agencies such as Dentsu, who has acquired a lot of digital marketing agencies in India, and then you look at very big services companies like Accenture, who also do digital marketing. You see that agencies like us, consultants, and many digital marketing agencies are still surviving, and they are still doing very good. So it's not scalable, and it's not a winner take all market. Everybody has an opportunity because it is services. Like for example, when you look at the whole employment market, you would not say that the competition is very high. Let's say you want to become VP of digital marketing in some organization, or digital marketing manager. As the market size becomes bigger, there will be more and more companies, and they will need more and more of those digital marketers working inside their team, right? So when it is not a product, the market is always open, and no matter how big the market grows, you will always have an opportunity. Like for example, if some company approaches a company like Accenture, and they cannot go ahead and afford the fees that Accenture charges, you can definitely go ahead and take that project. And in fact, a company like Accenture would have already convinced this company of the benefits of digital marketing, so that you don't need to go out and explain your client about the benefits of digital marketing. So your competition is not other digital marketing agencies. So your competition is traditional marketing. So that is the mindset that you need to have. So as long as you can convince people to move from traditional marketing to digital marketing, and people have to, because they have no other option. A lot of traditional marketing channels are becoming extremely expensive and extremely inefficient for a lot of businesses. So your competition is traditional marketing, and the other competitors that you have in your market, you should treat them as your partners rather than your competitors, because the other digital marketing agencies are convincing people out there that digital marketing is important and you cannot ignore digital marketing, which makes your job easier because you can go ahead and talk to the client about what kind of digital marketing services they need and what kind of digital marketing services that you are ready to provide, rather than having to talk about the importance of traditional marketing and convincing them to move from traditional marketing to digital marketing. Also, you can go ahead and focus on a niche. So there are multiple niches, like for example, let's say automobile. So automobile is one niche, and recently the automobile market is down, which means that people need even more aggressive marketing to go ahead and sell their automobiles. So healthcare could be another niche. Within healthcare, you have multiple niches. For example, dental health could be one niche, fitness could be another niche, and let's say dermatology could be another niche. So if you become a digital marketing agency just for dermatology clinics across India, that is going to be a big enough agency that even if you have some 50 or 100 employees at some point, you will still feel that there are more dermatologists that you can help. So you just need one small niche to go ahead and dominate it. And when you are having a niche for your digital marketing agency, your clients will also be easy to convert. Like for example, when you look at, let's say, a general doctor and a heart surgeon does only one part of the body and he takes care of only one part of the body, but he is a specialist and he is in a niche, so you pay him higher. And then you have, let's say, neurosurgeons, and then you have, orthopedists. So when you are general, you are generally getting paid low, and when you are specific and when you go specific into a niche, you will probably go ahead and make more money, because the people who want that particular requirement will be ready to pay more for it, because the amount of options available in the market is very less. For example, a dermatologist who has a dermatology clinic would rather go with a digital marketing agency that is an agency just for dermatologists, rather than try to go for a generic agency who does everything for everyone. So you have the option to go ahead and select a niche where within that category you become the number one. Then people will remember you. So this will also spread within the dermatologists. Let's say you have a digital marketing agency just for dermatologists. So all these dermatologists and dermatology clinics will be having a consortium, they will be having conferences, they will be meeting each other. So if you take one or two dermatologists and do like a really great job for them, new client acquisition becomes very easier when you go ahead and just focus on one niche. So if you are a generic digital marketing agency, getting that referral and word of mouth is very difficult. But when you are a specific digital marketing agency, you are going to get it very easily. So if you have got results for one dermatology clinic, and if they have been able to increase their revenue because of your marketing help, this person is going to refer you to other dermatologists who are his friends, and they will not hesitate referring you, because dermatology and dermatologist clinics are usually, situated in different localities, and if they have friends who have dermatology clinics in other localities, they are not going to compete with each other, because the market is already big enough for them, and India already has less number of doctors than most developed countries, and India needs a lot more doctors and a lot more hospitals and a lot more clinics, and there is a lot of things that needs to be done in the fitness zone and in the health zone, right? So here you are going to have enough opportunity and easy word of mouth, and if you can just reach out to a bunch of people and start helping them, then they are going to refer you to other people and your business starts growing. So this is not going to be very complex. Obviously it is going to take a lot of time, and developing that trust and actually getting results for a specific dermatologist is not going to be easy. You need to understand the market, you need to have a better understanding of the customers, you need to develop the right customer avatars, and once you do all this, then you can start getting results. And when you think about competitors as being a challenge, you also need to be better. So be better. So how can you be better? You need more experience and more knowledge. So more experience and more knowledge. So a lot of people think that being better is very difficult, and it is hard to gain more experience and gain more knowledge and just be a better performer and hard worker overall. And they think that the shortcut to this problem is to select a market niche where the competition is very low. So whenever someone says that, hey, competitor is a big challenge in starting a business, or a challenge in starting a digital marketing agency, I will not take it on face value, because why do you think you are not going to get into a space where competitors are? If you are better than your competitors, then you are obviously going to make a lot of money, and your competitors have already built the market for you. You come here, launch a product or service which is much better than your competitors, and you take up all the people who your competitors already have, right? So this is the greatest shortcut to success that has ever existed. For example, if Google was the first search engine, then it would have been very difficult for them to grow, because they have to get people used to using search engines. But when you look at Yahoo, when you look at other search engines that existed before, like Excite, and there was a search engine called Ask, and all these search engines already built the market for search engines, and they got people used to using search engines. So that's when you come as the last mover and you build a better product, and that is called the last movers advantage. In fact, we can note it down. So the last movers advantage. So as a last mover, you are already looking at all the problems that the competitor is facing. Like for example, when I started trading on digital marketing, I was able to see that most of the people want to learn digital marketing from home, and they don't want to join an institute and pay a lot of money to join that institute. And I was able to see what my competitors are not doing, and I was able to see the market opportunity, and I came up with a product which was an online product, and which was 1/10 of the price and probably higher quality than what others are providing. And without these competitors, I would not been able to go ahead and sell my digital marketing courses in the first place. And without other competing digital marketing agencies, the market will not be convinced that you need digital marketing, and it would be very tough for me to go ahead and sell my own digital marketing services as well, right? So you need to think about the last movers advantage, and you cannot go ahead and compromise on being better at any cost, right? You need to have more experience, you need to have more knowledge, you need to have more creativity, and this all comes from experience, hard work and learning. And if you do this, then you will be able to do better than your competitors, and you don't need to compete with, let's say, a very big digital marketing agency like Accenture or Dentsu. You just need to compete with other digital marketing agencies within your own niche. And if you select a niche which is big enough, and if you try to specialize in one area, then you will naturally be able to go ahead and get a lot of business, even if competition exists in other segments of the industry, because in one particular vertical, in one particular niche, you might not even have enough competition, and you might be having other digital marketing agencies who are very generic, and they are also providing services within your niche. You have a great opportunity by focusing on one niche. So you have to focus, and focus on one niche is very important, at least during the starting stage of your business, because if you try to be everything for everyone, then you will become a no one will actually give you any attention, because you are not going to be big enough, and you are not going to be specific enough for one segment of the potential customers to be attracted to you. So it is very important to just focus on one niche. So that's pretty much it talking about competitors. You don't need to worry about competitors. Your competitors are going to help you expand the size of the market. When you are starting a digital marketing agency, since services are not very scalable, you will have enough opportunity, and it will not be a winner take all market. You can focus on a specific niche, and focus on the niche based on the market opportunity, your passion and talent. So if you have a passion for automobiles, and if you have a talent for digital marketing, there is definitely a huge market opportunity for being a digital marketing agency to automobile companies. Or if you are passionate about health, and if you read a lot of books about health, and if you keep learning about health, then have a digital marketing agency for the healthcare industry. And don't forget to always be better, and keep in mind the last movers advantage, where you enter the market the last, and then you have a lot of benefits because of it, because the market is already primed to purchase these kind of products and services, and you don't need to convince people on the importance of digital marketing. So always remember, Your competition is not other digital marketing consultants and other digital marketing agencies. Your competition is going to be traditional marketing, and that is what you are competing against. So now let's talk about the other biggest challenge that people talk about when they are starting a digital marketing agency. People complain that the margins are very low in starting a digital marketing agency, and that is where your pricing becomes very important. So your pricing strategy will be going to be very important, and it is going to determine what kind of margins you have. So there are two kinds of pricing. One is cost based pricing and one is value based pricing. So if you look at the difference between the two, cost based pricing is usually there for commodities. So when you look at commodities, then it is going to be cost based pricing. So what is cost based pricing? So you basically add up all the expenses, and you go ahead and add a margin to it. So let's say it is going to cost 10,000 rupees to manufacture a phone. The manufacturer will then sell the phone for 12,000 rupees, having 2,000 rupees as the margin. So many times when people think about pricing strategies for their digital marketing agency, people think about cost based pricing. So earlier in the capital area, we talked about what kind of expenses that we have. So people always think about having a margin on top of your total expenses. Yes, having a margin and having a clear idea about how much margin you are making is very important. However, the pricing that you create should not be cost based. So if you are going to just have three clients, and if you add up all the expenses that you have, your employee salaries, your office rent, your company registration and compliance cost, you can't add a margin on top of it and then say that this is what I am going to charge you. So let's say your monthly expenses is 3 lakhs. You can't aim for, let's say, 4 lakhs. Even though you might end up making 4 lakhs in revenue with 1 lakh profit, you should not approach pricing having that 4 lakh in mind. Instead, you have to go inside value based pricing. So let's say it is going to cost you 1 lakh per month to serve a client. So once you calculate that your cost is 1 lakh per month to serve a client, don't end up presenting a cost of 1.5 lakh a month to the client, because when you are telling the client that, hey, I'm going to charge you 1.5 lakh per month to you, and if you are talking from the perspective of how much you need to make the business profitable and to serve them, you have to approach it from the angle of, let's say, how much it is valuable to them. So that you can have possibly two clients, and for one client, if you spend 1 lakh per month to serve a client, you can end up making 3 lakh profit for the client. However, for some other client, if you spend the same 1 lakh per month to serve, then you might end up only making a profit of 1 lakh per month for the client, in which case it does not make any sense for the client to give you the service, because he is not making any profit out of it. So when you look at the scope of work, it is very important. So look at the scope of work, and the scope of work should always be results based. So when you have a results based approach for the scope of work that you are doing for the client, talk about what they are going to gain, right? What they are going to gain because of your services. So we usually choose clients to make sure that we can actually provide enough value for them and we can increase their profits, and the minimum result that we expect is 3x. So 3x to 10x is what you should be aiming for, and anything below is, it's not going to be value based pricing, which means that if a client is going to spend 1 lakh a month with you, then you need to be bringing in at least 3 lakhs a month in extra profits for them. And if you are not able to bring profits for them, then you will not be able to make enough money, and you cannot keep the client with you for long term. So this kind of mindset is very important when you are not just an employee or a consultant, but an agency as well. Even when you look at a lot of employees go to a company and they ask for a job, and they approach the company from the mindset of what they are going to get. If employees approach from the mindset of what the company can gain with the skills that the employee has, then the company is much more likely to pay a huge salary to this employee, because the company is going to make an ROI on it. Let's say a client is going to pay you 10 lakhs a month and you are going to spend only 3 lakhs a month to serve that client. But what if the client ends up making 30 lakhs a month because they are spending 10 lakhs a month with you? If you have this kind of mindset, that is when you will be able to attract really good clients who pay on time and who have no hesitation paying you. They do not negotiate with you because you are making money for them. And if a client asks you, hey, that's a lot of money to pay you, then your reply should be, that's a lot of money for all of us. You are going to make money, the client is going to make money because of your skills, and this can be done only when you have value based pricing instead of cost based pricing. So we also fell into the trap initially. So we were taking a few clients for which we could not bring results, but we did everything for them. We did content marketing, blogging, email funnel setup and everything. But the product that this company had was not very good. And because this company did not have a good product, they were not able to go ahead and make enough sales to pay us enough money. And here we had cost based pricing, and we told the client, see, we have all these expenses and this is how much we need to charge you. And the client's reply was like, the client does not care what expenses that you have. If the client is paying you 1 lakh a month, and if you are actually spending 1.5 lakhs per month for that client, including your time, your employee salaries, the advertising investment that you do, the agency work that you do, like creatives, content writing, whatever, even if you spend 1.5 lakhs per month for that particular client, and if they are paying you only 1 lakh, and if you cannot bring results for them, just because you are spending extra for the client is not going to keep you around. The client is still going to come around and say that, hey, I'm paying you 1 lakh a month, but I'm not getting enough results, so I'm stopping the project. So that is how you get out of this low margin trap, and you get into value based pricing. You look at the scope of work, you make it results based, and you always make it about what they are going to gain. And that is the only area where you will be able to have good profits and have good margins so that you can grow. So that solves the next problem that we have, which is low margins. The next problem that people talk about when starting a digital marketing agency is that they say that it is very difficult to get new clients. So I would not say that it is very difficult to get new clients. It is challenging. It takes a lot of time to get the right clients in, but starting is easy. Start with outreach. So as we already talked about, the mindset that you need to have when you are having the pricing strategy, you need to approach it from the angle of what is the value you can provide to other companies as a digital marketer, rather than thinking about who will pay you for the digital marketing services, which already exists. So it is a process of discovery, of finding what the market needs by going to the market, rather than assuming what the market needs, having it and trying to sell it. So start with outreach, and as a freelancer or a consultant, go ahead and mail companies on the kind of opportunity they have. Like for example, if you have worked somewhere already, and if you have worked with a client either for a very low cost or for free or as a consultant or an agency, first develop a case study. So have a strong case study, and go ahead and send this case study to a bunch of clients, and also add value for them. Okay, so add value in the outreach, and it's called consultative selling or value based selling, where you are providing value for them, and you are going to tell them that what is that they lack. For example, if you see a website which does not have very good SEO, and there are a lot of SEO errors, then write a personalized email to them and tell them that these are the errors that you have, and set a custom report to them. And you can go ahead and use a custom report generator. So I will talk about that a little bit in a separate module, and we will create a separate video on just to learn how to get new clients. So we can do like a custom report generator and generate a unique report for the client, which talks about their website performance and their funnel structure. So put the logo of your agency or your personal brand out there and send it to the client. And when you are sending a custom report to the client, then they are definitely going to take notice. So here, if you are going with outreach, then you can start collecting some B2B leads, and we will talk more about where to get those B2B leads in the future videos. And you get those B2B leads and send an email. So send an email to the client, and you can go ahead and send a direct mail also, or you can go ahead and reach out to them on LinkedIn, Twitter, or wherever you can. So send an email and make sure that the email is unique. The email has value in it. Don't just ask whether they would be interested in digital marketing services, because when you send such a mail, most of them will ignore you and they will not respond to you. People are looking for value, and people are not going to pay attention unless they think that something is there for them. So you need to focus on what's in it for them. And you can also go ahead and send a video message. So send a video message, a custom video message, and send it via email or send a WhatsApp message talking about what you can do for them. So first collect the B2B leads, and for emails you can use tools like mailshake.com or outreachplus.com. So all these tools help you go ahead and upload a bunch of email IDs and contacts that you have, and it will go ahead and send out the email from within your Google Apps account, and it will be as good as you typed the mail and sent it to them. So here you can use mail merge, and these are mail merge tools, and you will not be able to send more than 200 emails at the time. But you are not doing B2C, right? You are doing B2B, and which means that you don't need too many of those emails either. So your Google Apps account, so if you have a custom Google Apps account, you will be having an ability to send at least 1000 emails a day. And since it is going from your inbox and you will be able to see it in your sent email, it is going to have a very high deliverability rate. It is not like an email server where half the emails don't get delivered, and sometimes it goes into the promotions or updates tab or the spam folder as well sometimes. So here you can send an email, and what you can do is that send a direct mail as well. So if you have a case study booklet, you can go ahead and send it to the client and send it to people who have opened the mail. So here, let's say you are sending out 1000 emails to all the clients, potential clients that you have, and out of those 1000 emails, some 200 people opened the mail. Send a direct email only to these 2000 people. You can find out their office address through some research and address it to them, and address it to the decision maker, whether it's the CEO or the VP of marketing, and send a direct mail to them. And you can also send a signed copy of a book that you have published. So if you have published a book related to digital marketing, if you have published a book related to the digital marketing agency niche that you are choosing, then you can send a signed copy of the book. And people never throw away a book. So when people receive a book, they are going to keep it around, which is going to remind them of you until they give you the project and until they start doing business with you. Because giving books is a good way to initiate reciprocation, and it's a good way to have you in their mind for a long period of time without having to spend for it. So you can also send a video message. If you can make like a 3 to 5 minute video, and you can send it on WhatsApp or mail or LinkedIn or Twitter. So you can use any of these channels to send a 3 to 5 minute video where you are explaining in front of a camera what is the services that you are providing and how your client can benefit from your services. So this is how you get new clients, and eventually you will start having a website, and people can visit your website and start requesting for digital marketing services. So once you start growing, once you have 5 to 10 clients, then you can start focusing on website and inbound marketing, where you can do blogging and you can do content marketing, and all this will lead to new clients. And you have to set up a funnel for converting your potential clients into actual paying clients. So that is also something that we will discuss in the future videos on the inbound marketing strategy to get new clients. But since we are in a video talking about the challenges in starting a digital marketing agency. I just want to remove all the objections that you have. So I'm just showing you different possibilities of getting new clients. So if you think that getting new clients is a problem, it is not a problem if you approach it in the right way and you approach it with a system. If you have already selected on a niche. So in the previous section, we were talking about, let's say, dermatology being a niche. So if you are just going to be a digital marketing agency for dermatology clinics, then you can create a report on the state of the dermatology marketing industry in India or something like that, which is of value to the target clients that you are going after. And that is value based selling. You have to talk about what's in it for them. See, almost every business person is greedy and every business person wants to grow. They want to make more profits, and you have to approach it from the angle of what is the profit that they can make once they start working with you, rather than thinking about what you can gain by getting them as a client. So if you don't have that mindset, you will not be able to grow into a very big agency, right? You need to be providing value and help others make money, and they will help you make money. So that's about it for the topic on getting new clients. And now let's talk about what services to offer as a digital marketing agency. Yeah, a lot of people think that there is a huge challenge in coming up a list of services that they can offer. And when it comes to a list of services that you can offer, so some services that is coming on top of my mind are content creation services, content marketing services, SEO services, paid ads management, and online reputation management services, email marketing, funnel creation services, and let's say retargeting and creating a retargeting funnel, e-commerce store deployment, and marketing automation services. So these are something on the top of my mind, and over time you need to go ahead and productize these services. You need to become an expert in it, or you can also go ahead and provide a full stack digital marketing service where you are doing everything for the client. So when you are going to choose a service to offer and when you are going to choose an industry, you need to basically select one industry and one service to start with, and then start doing multiple services for one industry, and then you can start doing multiple services for multiple industries. So what services to offer is not going to be a challenge at all, and we will be creating a separate video on what kind of services you can offer. And again, you need to think from the angle of what is the service that they need. Like for example, we recently signed up a very big publication in India as a client, and what we discovered was that SEO and creating content and getting the traffic to this content is not necessarily the challenge that these people have. And these people had a challenge in creating a funnel and creating a follow-up sequence and creating a product. So we went ahead and focused on that. We went ahead and started looking at how to create a product and a funnel and marketing automation for them. So when you are having the focus on what is the value you can provide to the client, rather than having a focus on how much the client can pay you, then you are going to be able to find the right services to be offered for the client based on your digital marketing knowledge. So we will be talking more about this in the future videos, and you don't need to think that this is going to be a challenge. Onboarding clients, also a lot of people think there is a huge challenge, and you need automation and processes and systems. So systems to onboard a client, which we will talk more about, the entire sequence of onboarding a client, welcoming them, getting the details from them, and getting the access details, login details and everything. So this should not be a big challenge. Clients need to understand the benefits of digital marketing. So we already talked about that in the competition zone, where if you have competitors, then your competitors are going to help your clients understand the benefits of digital marketing. So have white papers which will help you make the client understand the benefits of digital marketing. Have some statistics published on your blog. Have some case studies on how you have converted specific clients marketing strategy into a digital marketing strategy and how they changed. And these case studies have to be industry specific. So for example, if you are going to help a dermatologist or a dermatology clinic to go ahead and have a digital marketing strategy, or if you are going to help a dental clinic have a digital marketing strategy, and if you have a case study on how a dental clinic doubled their profits using digital marketing, and then if you approach new dentists and dental clinics, obviously they are going to be excited about it, because who does not want to double their revenue? So that is the idea. And you need a lot of content marketing. So you need to do content marketing, and through content marketing you can help your clients understand the benefits of digital marketing. A lot of people say that having mentors on the learning network is very difficult to get. So obviously Pixeltrack is here to help you. We are running a digital marketing agency and a digital marketing company ourselves, and we are an education company as well. So we are going to help you, and this course is also one of the channels through which you can learn. And we are also going to create a group for other digital marketers and other digital marketing agencies, and that is going to be a huge help for you. So we will get more to that as you go deeper into this course. Legal structures of the company is not a problem at all. You can start with a sole proprietorship to start with, or if you have partners, you can go ahead and register an LLP or a partnership company, and it will cost around 10,000 rupees including the GST registration to do like a simple partnership or a sole proprietorship. Open a bank account and then just start transacting. It should not be a huge problem. People also say that they have a huge challenge in hiring people. So when you are starting out, go ahead and hire freelancers. And if you are going to hire full-time people, have a hiring funnel. So we will talk more about hiring funnel and where to hire these freelancers to get work done for your digital marketing agency, and that should not be a huge challenge as well. And people say that employees learn and they leave. So systems, processes, and productized services. So these are the most important things you need to do to prevent employees from leaving, and we will be having a separate module on talking about system, processes, and productized services and how you can create those systems. So once you create those systems, you will not have the problem of employees leaving you, and even if your employees leave you, it's not going to be a huge botheration for you, because you have the systems which are already set. The systems are your business, and new employees who you hire will go ahead and be able to follow that system and start making money for your company. So it's as simple as that. So I hope this video helped you review all the challenges that are there in starting an agency, and how each and every challenge is something that we can overcome very easily, right? So you might have had few of these challenges in your mind. I hope this gave you some clarity, and you will have a lot more clarity as you go towards the end of this course and watch all the videos. So thank you for watching this video. Go ahead and leave a comment below about what you think. If you think you have any other challenges in starting a digital marketing agency, let me know about it as well, so that I can update this video with new content. So thank you, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.